Welcome to Staff Works Explained. In our today's video, we'll be talking about the Bagamoyo Port, giving an update on what is happening to this project. And the question that we'll be asking ourselves is there hope for Bagamoyo Port and Special Investment Economic Zone project? This project, as we know, has been cancelled twice. The delay has now been for 10 years. So one question that people have been asking themselves is whether this project will be ever been completed. So there is hope for this project, showing by what the government officials have been saying. When President Samia Suluhu Hassan came to power after the death of President Magufuli, she promised that she will kickstart the project. And true to her word, there are some negotiations which are going on. So in this video, we'll be dwelling on that question, whether there is hope for this port or whether it's be constructed, especially after dropping of the two investors, Chinese and Oman firms. The government of Tanzania has said that it is set to start the establishment of Bagamoyo Port in this financial year. According to Tanzania Ports Authority Director General, and the government will not have to wait further for investors to start the construction of the port. Investors will join us on the way, said the Director General of TPA. This statement shows that the government of Tanzania is in negotiation with investors, but the process is taking long due to the nature of the project. The Director General of TPA further stated that several multinational companies have had shown interest in developing and operating the $10 billion project, which is this sum is equivalent to 23 trillion Tanzanian shillings. This is a huge amount of money, and probably that's why it's hard finding an investor. But as the government says, the process is ongoing, and they are not going to wait until the investor is found. The government according to the TPA Director General, the government will start, and then the investor will join them on the way. The government has reiterated that it is committed to building the Bagamoyo Port, and this gives hope. And this is being done to decongest the Dar es Salaam port and also attract more customers. Official data shows that the Dar es Salaam port is currently handling 17 million tons of cargo every year. And the plan, according to the TPA director, is to increase to 30 million tons by 2030. Currently, the port is going through some expansion, and this is meant to help it to handle these kind of cargo, 30 million by 2030. Another evidence that shows that there is hope as far as the construction of the Bagamoyo Port and also the economic zone is concerned is from a report that was given by the Minister of Trade. When the Minister for Trade, Investment and Industry, Dr. Shatu Kijaji, was presenting the progress report of establishment, construction and development of Bagamoyo Port and Special Economic Zone to the members of Parliamentary Budget Committee on Investment, Trade and Industry. The minister said that the government will partner with the private sector to develop the Bagamoyo Port. According to the minister, the project is modeled around a private-public partnership model, which is a PPP, where the investor is expected to build, operate, and transfer the facility once they have recouped their investment. PPP build, operate, transfer model is a scheme to the initial concession by a public entity, such as a local government, to a private firm to build and operate the project in question. After a set time frame, typically 2 or 3 decades, the control of the project is returned to the public entity. And this could explain why it's difficult in getting an investor for this project, especially given the conditions that the Tanzania government is giving. Initially, the two firms, the Chinese and Oman entities, had given some conditions, and these conditions are in line with mitigation of risk. The amount of money in question here is huge, and no investor would like to put his or her money where there is no guarantee that they are going to recoup back the investment and also make some profit. So that's why we see in the first agreement, which was declared awkward by the President Magufuli, had a clause where the investor wanted to be given a 99 years lease, and also to be given some concession in terms of taxes, and also buy electricity and water at a reduced price. Conditions which were rejected by the Tanzanian government, arguing that that may not happen. Also, the investor had given a condition that no other port should be constructed in the vicinity. So this condition was seen as awkward by the Tanzanian government, but it's in line with a situation where the investor would like to protect him or herself, so that the project in question is able to regain the investment or the money which has been invested, and also make some profit. So this is one way of mitigating against risk, and probably that's why the Tanzanian government is finding hard to get an investor who agrees to their terms. The Minister of Trade, Investment and Industry told the Parliamentary Budget Committee that the government is still working on looking for a strategic partner for the initiation, construction and development of the port. The Budget Committee tasked the ministry to scout for serious and right investors for the Bagamoyo port, which is important to promote business and build on the national economy. Export Processing Zone Authority EPZA Director Mr. Charles Itembe said that the goal of the development of the project is to construct the world standard port as a transport hub and gateway to international trade, which will also link to the industrial area. So this is an important project, and as the committee was told, this project is meant to help Tanzania to boost its economic development, and it will provide jobs, to provide linkages and so many other benefits that will come out of this. But the project is facing some problems, especially during finding an investor, because of the conditions which have been put, and also given that there is a competition around the ports. Now we have the port of Dar es Salaam, which is faced with inefficiency, although the government of Tanzania is expanding the port to address these issues. We have the port of Mombasa, which is also competing with the port of Dar. We have the Lamu port, we have the Djibouti port, and so many other ports which are in close proximity to the port which will be built. And remember, Bagamoyo port will be one of the largest in Africa. So it should be a port which should attract a lot of traffic, and the investor would like to be assured that he or she, on investing on this project, investment will be recouped, and during the project operation period, can make profit will be made. The Director General of EPZA told the committee, the parliamentary committee that is, that the project being implemented in Bagamoyo in the coastal region is of great benefit to the national building, stimulating economic growth, promoting technology, skills and employment, promoting sea transport business and benefits to the local companies, and also generating foreign currency as well as increasing national income. Following the Chinese and Oman firms dropping out of the talks with the government on the construction of Bagamoyo Port, other firms have shown interest. According to the government officials, despite the fact that the welcoming of the investors to invest in the project was yet to be made public, the government was ready to accept and consider any serious bidder. It was on these grounds that the Tanzania Port Authority Director General said that they were working on several other submitted requests. So it shows that already there are some investors who have shown some interest, and they have already submitted some requests, and the government was working on this request. The Director General says that they're in the progress of selecting the companies to start negotiations, and soon they will make them public. Noting that the demand for ports was high, the Director General said that they would do whatever it took to shape the port infrastructure. When she came to power, President Samia Suluhu Hassan promised that the country would revive what has been considered to be an elusive project. Bagamoyo project has taken so long to be actualized. It has now been 10 years. She is quoted saying that a promising dialogue was already in place with the investors of the big project to find out exactly what the problem was, where the government could contribute, and what was to be done. What was the role that investors would play as far as that project is concerned. The agreement on the construction of the Bagamoyo port was signed in 2013 between President Jakaya Kikwete and Xi Jinping of China as part of the effort to transform Tanzania into a trade and logistic hub in the region. However, for 10 years now, the realization of that project has remained elusive, with the project being cancelled twice in 2016 and 2019. Negotiations between the two firms which were interested in building this project, the $10 billion project, failed. And now the country is in the drawing board, trying to woo other investors to come on board. The rejection of those contractual terms, which according to President Magufuli were exploitative and awkward and could not be accepted, has made the project to derail for all those years. However, there's a new shift after the current President Suluhu Hassan raised hopes for the revival of the project. There is a French mega investors and traders who have expressed their readiness to take part in the implementation of the port, and there are also reports that the government of Tanzania and Dubai are in discussion on areas where the Dubai Port World (DP World) may invest in the country's ports with a view of improving efficiency. We remember in the other videos we have talked about DP World being involved in construction of ports in various parts of Africa. We have Djibouti, we have Kenya. There are some negotiations, although there have been problems around that area. We have construction over the port in Banana, that is in DRC, and other parts of Africa. So Tanzania is in talks with this firm, which is highly experienced in these port construction works, for the possible construction of this port. So we are not sure which firm will be given this contract, which firm will partner with the Tanzanian government to construct the Bagamoyo port project. So we'll be looking at what will happen in future as far as this port is concerned, but there is hope that the port will be built, although it's not yet clear on when this will be done and how long it will take. So thank you for coming this far. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so. Also watch other videos that we have made on various projects in Africa and other parts of the world, and leave a comment on your thoughts about these projects. So thank you, and welcome again for more videos.